How can people better learn to make their needs a priority? How do you start doing that?
I began by giving to myself. Years ago, I was in therapy. I was married to my second wife, who I was married to when I wrote No More Mr. Nice Guy. And it became obvious that I was operating by what I call covert contracts, giving to get. If I do this for you, then you'll do this for me. I won't have to say it out loud. Won't have to ask. Won't have to be clear or direct. You'll just read my mind because I gave you, and I know you're going to give to me. And so when I was working with a therapist, I was in a men's group at that time. I made a year-long commitment that I would no longer give gifts, surprises, anything to anybody else other than my children. So, like, if I was at the mall and, "Oh, my wife would like that." I if I had any impulse to give to somebody else, I had to give something to me.
Okay.
Not necessarily equal, but it was a way of reversing an old paradigm, an old pattern. I was just so reflexively giving to everybody else, and in the midst of doing that, the people in my life felt the strings attached. I didn't realize I was giving to get, giving to approval, or to get approval, giving for them to give me back. And then when they did try to give to me, I wouldn't let them, right? So I had to start giving with me. So that's where I had to begin. I had to say, okay, what do I want? What's my priorities? What's important to me? I'd go in the mall and there'd be a jacket on sale, and I haven't bought myself a jacket in a while, and I'd buy myself a jacket. Uh, I'd pay for my kids to go to the dentist or the dentist, and I thought, it's been a few years since I've been to the dentist. So I thought, I need to go to the dentist. So, all the way from just basic healthcare kind of things. And I continue to this day, wear a ring that tracks my sleep. I try to give to me by getting enough sleep. I just hired a nutrition coach. I want to be around another 20, 30 years and have a fit body and fit mind. And I thought, oh, I got to give to me. I got to eat well. I told my fitness coach, but I don't want to track macros. I'm tracking macros. I got the app.
You can't get around it.
Yeah. So whether it's giving to ourselves and just those basic fundamental, get enough exercise, get enough sleep, eat healthy, spend time socially connecting with other people, save money, go to the dentist, whether it's those basic things or just, ordering yourself some new clothes, say, I'm going to go hang out with
Prioritizing
friends.
yourself first.
Prioritizing self. Now, I know people already listening to this going, but that's just selfish. That's just fundamentally selfish. What if everybody lived that way? And I think if everybody lived that way, we'd probably be a lot better off because we wouldn't be, walking around from this place of emptiness and neediness and manipulating people to try to value us or give to us. And if our bucket is full and overflowing, we have so much more to give to everybody else. I, like a lot of people, for a long time was trying to give from an empty bucket. My bucket was bone dry. Not only did I didn't fill it, but I didn't let anybody else help me fill it.
So if you're not caring for yourself, if you're not doing the things that makes you whole, you then look to other people to fill something that you could have done already. You are an empty vessel. You come to fix me. However, I'm not going to tell you that I need you to fix me, and I'm not going to fix me, and then I'm going to become resentful of you and me for me being empty.
That's probably the definition of neediness right there. It's normal to have wants, to want to be happy, to have desire, to want money, to be loved, to have a relationship, to have regular, predictable sex, right? These are all things we want. That's normal. It's really okay. So we might ask, well, what's the problem then? If it's normal to want these things, desire these things, plan our lives around these things, the problem is, and this is where I really have to clarify for people to help them understand. The problem is when we get emotionally attached to a very specific outcome, there's going to be natural and unavoidable consequences, suffering and anxiety. And when we get emotionally attached, I was emotionally attached to wanting to visit my granddaughter for her 17th birthday and spend a week in that wheat field. I was. And if I'd stayed emotionally attached to it, my suffering would have been through the roof. As it was just a little bit of a mild ongoing frustration. But I really did want to go. Okay. So that brings us to point number 2. Attachment is the cause of all suffering and anxiety. Most of us have probably heard that Buddha said that attachment is the cause of all suffering. And as I said, I had anxiety to this. Now, here, what's interesting is I started teaching this as a concept, I don't know, 15 or so years ago, maybe a little bit longer. This is kind of a later concept into what, I've been teaching, both learning and teaching to men around attachment to outcome. But there's this interesting dynamics, interesting phenomena. When I teach about attachment outcomes cause of all suffering, guys get mad at me. I mean, really, I've had men get angry at me. They get pissed at me. And it's kind of like, well, if I didn't have attachments, why would I get out of bed? Why would I go to work? Why would I save money? Why would I walk across a room and talk to that attractive woman when she might throw a drink in my face? So the point is, this is normal, right? This is normal human experience to get attached to outcome, to want, to desire. This is normal. I want that job. I want that promotion. I want that woman. I want some degree of wealth. Okay. This is normal human experience.